Okay, folks, good evening. We're back. Back with basing. Let's go ahead and put the right chat settings here while we're thinking about it, because I won't think about it later. And we got this pile of figures that just need basing. These are all completed. Not, of course, they need base. They just need tufts. Sorry, only need tufts. And then we started working on some of these guys to scrape some of this stuff off and goop the bottoms of them. So that's the two things that we're going to work on tonight. If I won't fall asleep first. And I got some interesting stuff to show you guys once we get some of the regulars to come in here. Hopefully you regulars are coming in paying attention. I did a little shopping, restocked on some stuff that I needed, and picked up something I've been wanting for a while, kind of cool. My little splurge for today. Is all this stuff in here? Yeah, all the stuff is in here. Well, I just restocked on Iraqi sand. Every time I pick this up, it looks like it's a different color. And I was concerned about that. U.S. Field Drab, Saddle Brown, Red Leather. This is the core color in all the faces. The one I have is old. Cavalry Brown. That one's almost out. Good old chocolate brown. And Russian Uniform. We're pretty low on that one. And the Pussyfoot's Paradise, the game store that has all of this stuff, they got more Vallejo paints, and they have now they have the model colors that are coming in containers in packaging like this, and I don't like this packaging. The thinness of this, it feels really brittle and like half as thick. I don't like it at all. So I did not buy these two colors. I ended up going to Hobby Lobby and getting them instead. And this is the German camouflage black and black. So we're going to. I don't think I'm going to put them in my. I think the saddle brown probably needs to be replaced. Yeah, the saddle brown is had. No, it's still okay. I mean, it's dying. It's old. I bought this probably around 2002 from Brookhurst Hobbies. So I'm going to take these paints and we're going to put them down here. Well, we absolutely have had enough, and but they're ones I got to get. They're going to be used here very soon. So brown goes back. And I picked up one more thing that I'm not going to show until the right people are here. So, if you're the right person, speak up. You guys know who you are. And the regular folks are here all the time. And, if you want to be recognized, well, then you got to tell me you're here. Because I can't tell who the hell's on. Supposedly there's one watcher, but who knows who it is. Some guy waiting for Mitch's feet to make an appearance. Not tonight, pal. All right, let's put the super readers on. And continue script. Oh, let's take our jewelry off. Continue taking the rest of this magnet. Okay, this one was complete. I just kind of stopped in the middle of what I was doing. I was doing this stuff off camera. And I have all the replacement names for all these right here. So we can switch out their names now. These two, I've got to actually make the names for them. And it's funny because this is actually one of my favorite figures. This guy that we call Worth. He is the pose, and he turned out really well. He's one of my favorite figures. He's just a rifleman. Nothing uber exciting about him. Let's make sure that we are signed in. Well, actually, I need to back out of this a little bit. No, we're good there. Okay, good. All right. This is the Panzer Schreckier, name Fram. And these guys were painted somewhere around the time around 1997. Somewhere in there. So I probably had gotten these figures probably around 93, 94. And I think the sculptor was already passed away at that point. This guy's shirt is, I vary their colors a little bit. This guy's shirt's pretty darn green. I don't know if I'm going to paint that at a later date. He just got one that had a little too much green in it. Variations a little bit. Kranka. He has the Gewehr 41. And one of the snipers, Lengeman. He just has a Car 98, a scoped Car 98. And the German mortar, for whatever reason, I forgot to paint it. So I want to use a heavy duty magnet. I want to use a Litco heavy duty magnet. A 20 should probably work okay for that. Let me grab my Litco. I gotta use those Litco magnets for something. I'm not going to be painting 15s anytime soon. I got my hands full. My magnet base bottoms, so there they are. That's almost perfect. So we're going to come in here. And we're going to cut this across. So if you guys were here this morning, one of the topics we were talking about was wild animals attacking people in the Second World War. And other than the sinking of the Indianapolis, the only one that that several people had agreed on was this attack that happened to the Japanese. I can never remember. I can't remember what the name of this island is, but it's some island off the coast of Burma. We looked it up, and it's not really like far away. Like it's connected. You could swim there. And I wanted to learn more about that, just to see, what exactly is going on here. And they actually made a movie about it, a movie loosely based on it, and it's available on Tubi. I don't know if I'm going to watch it. It's got a really bad rating, but they, in typical Hollywood fashion, they twisted everything around. They actually made it about the Allied troops going in there. I guess because if it was just a bunch of Japanese getting eaten alive, nobody would care. That's what you get for causing massacres to people, massacring civilians and stuff. So they changed that around. It's available on Tubi. It's a movie called Saltwater. Don't remember what the name of the island is now. Changchi or Kangchi or something like that. And these I'm not going to be able to finish until I pronounce their names, which I'm not able to do right this moment. Okay, so we've scraped these guys done and done the edges. Let's do Mueller next. Today went by way too fast. Okay. Might just be a slow evening. Just one of those things. The mortar does not have a identifying plate on there. Yeah, I'm not. I don't name my mortars. That would be quite a bit silly. Mr. Lights. I think that might be a little bit better. Well, I'm sure we'll have a better showing in the morning. Cranka. Well, there is the possibility that nobody will come on. I won't be able to go over the stuff that I went when I bought. Well, we'll just do that tomorrow morning then. Sometimes you guys can't be baited. You're like one step above me. I still have. I've mentioned it so many times. Nobody's bothered to ask me what the name of the French cafe is. No. I guess I won't disclose it until I actually go and paint it. Funny thing is I'm actually not very excited to do it because it's not destroyed. I would have thought I actually liked the destroyed buildings better. Who would have thought? Cranka. Cafe Rene. No, I can't tell you now. I'm disappointed that the girls didn't like that show. I said the only problem I have with it. Well, I would wish it didn't have a laugh track, and I wish the quality of it was a little bit better. It's not much better than. Yeah, it's pretty poor. But then stuff in American shows were pretty bad during that time. So I restocked on some paints there, Jeffrey. And I also picked up something that I'd been wanting to get for a long time and really had no reason to get it because I wasn't going to play a game. But at some time, I'm going to play a game relatively soon. And this might actually be something it's not going to be as useful. But I decided to get it anyways because if I don't get it now, when the hell am I going to get it? And it's one of these things. And it's not a laser pointer, it's the line thing. And I don't know how useful it is, but we're going to find out, you know. Yeah, I think a laser pointer is not that useful. Having, be able to draw a line or something like that. It works. The farther up you get, the better it works. So, yeah, I've been wanting to get one of these for a while now. Should take all the warning stickers off of them. I'm not freaking stupid. Manufacture time June 2023. Yeah, I should just order more. I should just go ahead and order more batteries for them. The original show that parodies is called Secret Army. Well, yeah, that scenario was called Secret Army that involved like I talked about this morning. I wonder if that's a tie-in to it at some point. I actually thought it was pretty good. I mean, yeah, it's got all the, typical double entendres and stuff like that, but I thought the girls would have liked that. Would have watched it all together, and I've just gotten into the second season, and I just lost. I just honestly don't remember to watch television. I was a big proponent of The Boys, of having people watch The Boys, and I can't get into the third season. I just lost interest. I just don't enjoy just sitting there and just like watching other things happen. I'd rather make things happen. Line pointer is invaluable for skirmish games. Well, I don't know if I'm gonna find it that useful, but I got it now, so I might as well use it. You know. If I'm soloing it, then I'm not gonna have an argument with. I don't think he can shoot it. Oh yeah, he can. Prove it to me. Why didn't he? No, and I'm not dressing up to play a freaking skirmish game. That's weird. Wearing a pith helmet or something like that. So I go to the hobby store. My daughter, of course, not the hobby store, the game store that I call Pussyfoot's Paradise. and my daughter stays in the car. She's like, I don't want to get down. I don't want her to get down anyways. And they have an excellent selection of paint, but they got some strange cats in there. Oh my God, they got some seriously strange cats. I'm in the store shopping for paint, going down my list, and my daughter sends me a text. I think I saw somebody who looks like Shmi from Captain Hook's crew. She said hat and everything. I'm like, oh boy, yeah. Get me out of here. It was really loud in there. There was a bunch of people just playing games and playing Magic and shit like that. Magic players. I know a couple people that play Magic, and they're like, "Hey, you just want?" Nope, nope. I tried to play it one time. I don't really care for it. I don't like the people that play it. And you're just buying stuff. You're not creating anything. There's this one channel got to put out a new video today. It's a channel I subscribe to, and for reasons that I'm not gonna get into. I thought that I would be interested in some of this content on here that they had for gaming related, and they just they basically had like this. Hey, here's this new stuff that's out this year, and like they don't do anything. They just buy stuff, and that's it. Like it's not my thing. I can't be in everything, so I'm gonna pick what I'm into. Okay, and that's Schneider, and we went all the way, which by the way is Taylor in German. I didn't know how to know that. Okay, so these guys are ready to have the stuff done to them. But before I get to that, I probably should check and make sure that their names fit on here. Because if they don't, and I need to make these a little bit bigger, I probably need to do that now, not later. Probably not. I'm severely dehydrated. I've had a bunch of water in the last 4 hours, and it just doesn't seem to do it. And of course, coffee is the opposite of hydrating. So let me go fill this up with water. Bring a Coke, also not helpful, and then we'll move forward with this. Be right back. Okay. So, should I finish these guys all the way, or put the goop on these guys and finish them? The problem will put, I'm gonna finish these guys all the way. I don't feel like dealing with this. I don't feel like dealing with the names. I don't, and that's a problem because the new names are gonna be might be a different length than the little pieces of wood there, which means I have to remove them and replace them. Let's get these guys completely done. As a matter of fact, let's do the three Soviet tank crewmen first, because these are literally soft plastic figures. These are the first soft plastic figures I've ever painted to this level, to use for wargaming. So let's see what we have, and we're out of one of the toughs. So, did I put them all back, or did they stay out here? I actually like what I was doing, just trying to mix up the tough so we don't have all. Unlike my DBA armies where I was using a couple different toughs or maybe only even one, mixing these up with different kinds it's going to make them all last longer. So, okay, so we got the bright green ones from Australia. We got a couple different kinds in there. I actually don't like the ones from Huge Miniatures. I don't like because the bottoms of them are hard. So they don't fit on like uneven surfaces very well. Oh, these are cute, but we're not going to use these. These are for the well, maybe I will. I don't really have that much of an opinion. I can go a couple different ways. Whatever the fuck that means. These are for the Pacific. I'm going to use this Gamer's Grass for the Pacific. These are some nice, pretty tall ones, and especially the ones I'm really going to use for the Pacific. I mean, if we go there, we need these out here too. Okay, those I have a lot of extra ones. I got a lot of this stuff. A lot of these tall grass. Now that I have a hot glue gun, I should make some tall grass stuff. This stuff right here, spiky green. This has got Japanese sneaking through that, written all over it. Those are winter. What the hell are these? These are kind of plush. We're not going to use those for this right now. The moss is cute, but that's what I use for my the Dracula army. That was one of the colors I used for that. Okay, we got one. Let's what's this one? Okay. Maybe we'll use the light. Leave the wild one here. This one's for the desert. Okay. I think between those we can mix and match and have some variety. Whew. Yeah, my head feels like I've been drinking alcohol. That's exactly what it feels like. Dehydrating. I've had a lot of water today. All right, so we've got these. Yeah, these actually look really good. These figures are. I don't know. Is it a sculptor also? Is the person that makes the soft plastic figures, is that a sculpt process as well? I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know. So let me take. I'm gonna have to cut these down so we've got some variety in here. Let me get two of these out here. These I don't have to be too careful with. You see, Australian ones are as sticky as hell. Super sticky. As a matter of fact, those work better if I don't use glue. Okay, so we got that. We're going to leave the lead bear tufts in there because I don't want to pull them out until I use them because they're super sticky. We have a couple different kinds in here. All right. So let me get a couple of these. Obviously, it's for more than just these 3 figures. These blonde ones are pretty big. I don't think I'm going to use any of the blonde ones. And this is what's left of one. So let me put these guys in here as well. This is, I believe, Autumn, the 5mm from Gamer's Grass. And we got some pretty bright green ones here. About 3 of those. And these I can't put on here because I'll never get them up off of them. So let me see if I can a bailed out tanker is probably not going to be in an area that, well, I shouldn't jump to conclusions. There's a couple of them that over here. All right, let's take one of these. Where's Mr. Tweezers at? Definitely gonna need that. Older ones would have been sculpted physically. Modern ones probably CAD. Yeah, well, the guys who sculpted all the Airfix stuff. Well, these are nice. Actually, there's some variances in faces. Not on these, but some of the tank commanders definitely have them. All right, so we're going to put one of these guys with this bright green one. And I like to use them to cover over things that don't look great. So I'm going to put that guy there. As you can see some of that base on here. This guy's pretty good everywhere. And I'm going to grab another one of these. And he goes there. Okay? And this one won't have one of the bright ones. That way we're mixing it up a little bit. Okay? But he is going to have... Let's get the Elmers out. Bring out your Elmers. Dong. Good Lord. Open up. Any manufacturers of 20mm stuff you don't care for, Jeffrey? As you know, I don't really like FAA, but I don't like their faces, so. But I plan on. I've only done one head swap. One, maybe 2. And it turned out well enough that I should be able to pull it off. But a lot of it depends on like what's on their neck. Like if you're cutting somebody's head off and there's like, stuff that needs to be right here it's difficult. You might have to like put it back on with green stuff, and I don't know if that's really worth that kind of trouble, but realistically, I probably shouldn't be messing with that until all of my figures that are painted that I like are done. Why take an FAA bottom and put somebody else's head on them when I've got lots of battlefield and combat figures that I want to paint? That's kind of a waste of my time unless I want to just do it for the physical challenge. I could see a point in doing that. But that guy's got two of them on here. We're going to give this guy a third one, and let's do it. Let's do another one of these. Looks weird if there's one tuft of each kind, no tufts ever repeated. No, there's got to be some repeats or it's going to look hokey. Okay. I don't think that guy's holding the pistol properly. He's got the teacup grab. He's got his teacup grab with a pistol. Got one like this and one underneath. That's not how you fire a pistol. You commie clown. And we'll put this one underneath here. Okay. And these three Soviet guys are painted. Now, Lancashire Games can be annoying for Brill ankle syndrome. They'll have a platoon of Norwegians and Germans for them. There's not a lot of people that make Norwegians, although FAA may actually make them. Yeah, Lancashire Games is, and those are definitely old school figures, and they have all of the they have pictures of all their stuff, don't they? I'm pretty sure they do. Well, I got to do this. I got to do this. We're doing it live. Let's see how this turns out. Let's see how I do a little project here. Hell, this one has a hatch open. I think that's perfect. So say you have this T-34 with the Chelyabinsk turret. This mat is beautiful. Even all the problems I've had with it, the print on it the design is just perfect. I mean, I've never seen a mat better than this one. Unfortunately, it's a shit show with it being a damaged product. So we're going to put this down. And the replacement one's not the same green. It's a different green. It's not as good. It doesn't have the rocks and stuff. Oh well. The one guy in England I didn't get good service from. Everybody else in England has been awesome. I'm sure there's people there that suck also, but I've never had an issue with people in the UK before. All right, let's cover this up a little bit. This is behind the scenes tour, and I am an amateur when it comes to this shit. Okay, I don't want to spend a ton of effort doing this because I'm a painter. So if I spend a lot of effort doing this, then I'm not painting. then I'm going to take a photo and I'm going to show you guys what it looks like up close. I can move this up into the corner. We can keep doing that. Let me unplug this. Put the camera on. Yeah, that fucking looked great for a second, and then it disappeared, and then it doesn't look so good. And I am all of my talents are for painting. I am not a photographer. And I don't care. I can't be good at everything. I got to give other people a chance. And then usually the only thing I do to the photo, the only enhancement I do is I usually use put auto, because auto makes it look like more of what I'm seeing, not what's on the photo. Sometimes. In this case it doesn't. Yeah. Auto's like the easiest thing to just kind of touch it up. Make it look more like what I'm seeing. And we'll hit save. And then we'll come over here and we will chop this up a little bit and hit save. You're going to see a little video of me. Oh no, I'm going to see myself inside of a video inside of another. What happened here? Let me put my video up in the corner. Yeah, it looked pretty good. Actually, they don't look that blue, but they didn't look as washed out as the other photo is. I'm just not willing to spend 30 minutes screwing with a photo. I mean, I could paint figures in that amount of time. Anyhow, I'm pretty happy with these guys. These guys don't have a label. I'll put something on them underneath. Could probably do that now. Pull out the white paint. I'm just going to paint some numbers on the bottom of them. It reminded me of that movie one of those movies that they used to play at Historicon all the time. The guy that sells all the videos, he has these action sequences from a bunch of historical movies on there. Everything from Zulu to Waterloo, all kinds of stuff. They're just little 10-minute little short things like that. And he has them on autoplay. And they got this one movie. I don't know what it is. It's some communist production in Russia, and it has this scene where it's probably in the late 60s or early 70s when it was shot. And there's this one scene that has this German tank crew. It's like a Kursk or something like that. It's like a German tank crew and a Russian tank crew knock each other out. And they both bail out of the vehicles. And they both go to the area between the two tanks and start hand-to-hand fighting. Like, okay. You like his mats? Played on one today. Another relaxing game of Meg Pacto in 28mm. Motorbike Gloria Outrunner versus Ultramare. Sorry. See, that's still bad habits. Versus Abbasids. Yeah, the mats are beautiful, but it just didn't work out, man. I just had so much trouble with that. You know, the only reason I ordered them is because it was free shipping. And half of the price of his mats, for me, is the shipping to get them to me. So they're basically half off. That's the reason I got them. And I wasn't expected to get old stock. I've never seen better printing than that one on anything. It's that one's incredible. They don't make that ground color anymore. Maybe he had problems with it. I don't know. It's absolutely gorgeous. Takes some great photos. You know, but I went back and forth with him for like a year, and he must have been suffering from. He was either nefarious or he's suffering from the same thing Biden has. But it did not go well. Like I said, that's the only I get better service from people in the. I don't need better. I don't need good service. Just send me the stuff that you said you're going to send me. You know. He supposedly said he sent it out multiple times to replace it, but he's either forgetful or got old timers. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But I just left it alone. I'm like, lesson learned. Never buy a game mat unsight unseen. Because if I would have seen that this had the markings there of the, it's not the wrinkles. You can get the wrinkles out, but I'm you got discoloration here. You got discoloration. It came in a package and it was wrapped so tight. You see this? This is actual color missing. I'm just gonna leave it how it is. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to do to it. I certainly don't want to paint over it and make it worse. It's not chalk or anything. It is what it's a shame. So there's just parts of it that I take photos on, but this is the most beautiful mat I've ever seen in my entire life. I don't know why he had so many problems with it. This is perfect. There's like rocks in there, and there's also not rocks in there, and but it must have been old stock. It was wrapped up in some cellophane, not cellophane thing, but the cellophane that's a little bit more shrink wrap, and it was probably in a hot warehouse somewhere, and that stuck to the wrap because it wasn't folded inside it was folded outwards, and shit happens, but it's still gorgeous. It's absolutely it's just a shame that I can't be like I don't want to promote his stuff, not because he's a bad guy, but I don't want to have other people have that bad experience with him. But I would love to, put on these great games. My terrain's going to look fucking great, with this stuff on it. And maybe I'll be able to use it, Maybe I'll try to put the roads over where those spots are, and then I'm golden. But for the 8x8 one, I'm going to have to make my own, and I don't, I don't even have the tables yet, so I'm not going to worry about that yet. But that mat is absolutely gorgeous. And the desert one looks good, but that one, nothing looks as good as that. It's just absolutely beautiful. So, and honestly, the first time I got it, I was a little disappointed how thin it is, but that's the thinness I need to do the trick with the trees, Okay, since we're doing these commie bastards, let's get the other commie bastards out here. This guy is holding his head, and a couple riflemen, 3 riflemen, 4 riflemen, and the wounded leader, and then this guy. Oh, let's not forget the Americano that decided to come over here. He didn't make it on the other. He didn't make it there with the other guys. But I won't. I won't buy terrain mats sight unseen. But now I don't need to buy anymore. I'm good with the ones that I got from him, and if I need one that's bigger than 4x6, I need to make it myself because nobody really makes one bigger than that. And I don't want it to be thicker because that doesn't really work. Okay, we still have some tufts here, right? Yep. Okay. So you like Mortem et Gloriam? I bet I'd probably like it, but I don't have it in me to learn another system. and have to figure out all the questions and stuff. I bet I would like it, especially Pacto, because I have no regrets about playing DBA with 12 stands. That's not my problem with it. It's not that, oh, it's not enough figures. That's not my problem with it. I think it's really, I think that's a plus of it still. But I got Impetus. I haven't fired up Impetus and read through the rules or anything. That's just gonna take away from doing this shit. And nobody's doing this. Nobody's doing it. No, nobody's doing this rule set. There's no face of battle games out there. Let's do some face of battle games. It's a great game. Oh, Snapdragon. I went to move my video and it disappeared. Hold on. Did I get it back? I got it back. Okay, perfect. I got a guy locally here in Florida, kind of locally, and he was always singing the praises of Pacto, of Mortem at Gloria. He was always singing the praises of it. And I said, hey, if you ever want to put a game together, let me know. I'd love to play in it. And I didn't respond back to him. That's fine. I didn't really follow up on everything. And now he went to Historicon. He played another game up there. So I'm like, people are just flighty anyways. People don't play something for 18 years. They're jumping from thing to thing. That's just pretty much par for the course. How most people are. So I will be sticking with this game. If there's something about it I don't like, I plan on modifying it in my own style of perversion and moving on with it. If there's something that I don't like the way it's handled, then I'll play it differently. The rules are out of print anyway, so I don't know if that will happen, but we're not going to go to this is how we got to play it because it's a tournament game mentality. Like, nope, that's out the window. Let's see where we're going to put this bush. That's relatively big. Let's put it here. I think that there is a rock here. And because there's a rock there, it's not gluing too well. He played it a couple of years ago, but only just getting back into it. Had 3 games since Thursdays, got figures on the table, even unpainted, a freshly 3D printed. Yeah, seems like there's a lot of decisions you could be making in that. That's cool. Okay, it's Gabev now. All right. Let's do the other rifle. Another rifleman. the people that Mitch plays with, they were really into one game. That's all they played, and then they like got burned out on it and they stopped playing it. And the guys like converted all his figures for it. They don't play it anymore. That Maurice game, they were really into the. I thought it was a cool game. I don't know that it represented the period well, but it was. There's definitely some things to, keep your brain interested. It wasn't an auto. It wasn't like well, you just do this and you just and you just tune out. Now you had to think about stuff, which I think is a fun aspect of the rules. As long as it's it doesn't like it's not painful to think. I don't want to. I don't want to play a game that's just like on autopilot. Like, nope, there's obviously only one good thing to do here, so we do that. Like, that's not my idea of a good time. I mean, I do like to roll dice as much as the next guy, but I'd like to have some stuff to think about also. That's why I've never been big on gaming and drinking. Because like I gotta think about stuff. Like there's people's lives are on the line. People's lives are on the line. We'd used the same armies for Saga and Lion Rampant in the past. Lion Rampant definitely works with the DBA figures. We did them. Lion Rampant needs a lot of house rules though to give it a little bit more flavor. It's a cool system and there's lots of stuff you can think about, but it could be better. Have played Longstreet. It didn't stick. Longstreet is made by who? It's who's the publisher of that? Is that a Sam Mustafa thing? I watched a video on him playing Rommel. I'm like, that's not the game for me. Like way too generic. Way too generic. I mean, I'm playing World War II. I need a religious experience. I want a religious experience playing the Second World War. Hey, it's my thing, man. I told you guys, I'm not an ancients and medieval guy. I just did it for 18 years. This is my jam right here. And not necessarily at a skirmish level. I played operational kind of stuff before. Stuff on the 1 to 5 scale. I don't mind. Yeah, Sam Mustafa. Yeah, his naval game is like I don't like Rommel. I didn't like Rommel at all. There's games that are good games, but I can't play something that's the Second World War that's not, or a period that I'm really interested in, and it doesn't have that kind of flavor. Like it's missing. It's just flat, or it's just really awkward, or Rommel. I'm like all the tanks are the same and stuff. I mean, I'm out. Like you should have to play different. If you should have to play different. I hate saying factions. Different countries differently. You have to. You should, regardless. There just should be, and ones that have different advantages than others. I mean, All right, I gotta go to the restroom. I gotta go to the little boy's room. I guess I'm getting hydrated if I gotta go pee again. I'll be right back. Lion Rampant Second Edition is more of a sandbox and encourages house rules and historical knowledge. I have them both. Um, yeah, yeah, it's okay. There's too many like. Well, I would never play it for points. Like I'll buy these guys that are 6 points, and these guys are only four, so not as good as a value. So I don't use them. I'm like, nah, this is what you're stuck with. You. But DBA is the only game I've ever played, and probably will be the only game I'll ever play. I'll ever have played. That is a tournament type game. I didn't play it because I wanted to win tournaments. I played it because I wanted to play with my own stuff. Because if I'm playing with my own stuff, then I don't have to, I don't have to build both sides and stuff like that. Um, let's give this guy a bit of color. I'm gonna take one of these. You stay right there. Don't you move. And like I said, this will be by invite only. If I don't want you to play in this game, I won't tell you where I live. And if I do want you to play, we'll bring you here with a ball gag and a bag over your head. That way you don't know how to get back. Come over to my house. You'll have a ball gag. That's why I got so many viewers the other night. Everybody was excited about talking about ball gags, you weirdos. I don't mean like that. All right, you're just gonna. I'll put you over there then. Yeah, these have the bottom of them a lot harder, and it doesn't work really well, especially when they have a bigger footprint. We'll get you to stick down. So, what I was saying this morning, one of the tangents that we got off on, I always like the tangents that we get off on, is somebody had asked if they were wondering if a lot of like wild animals had killed a lot of soldiers in the Second World War. And apparently, other than the sinking of the Indianapolis, where the sharks had a feast, there was one battle. GB Models, welcome. How you doing, man? Um, there was one battle that was, I'd have to look it up again, that happened in the Pacific. That apparently these Japanese got ambushed by crocodiles. And I'd never heard of it before, and I don't think most people had heard of it before. But they've actually made a movie of it. I looked it up. I wanted to do some research after I was online. I'm like, I got to read more about this. This might actually be an interesting scenario. And Hollyweird, of course, changes it. As they do everything. They turned it, instead of being the Japanese that get attacked, it was a bunch of Allied forces that get attacked. I haven't seen it. It's got a really low rating, like 2.5 stars or something like that. I'll probably watch it. But they changed it into some. I think it's Australians or something like that run into it and turn into like a thriller / horror movie. I don't know. It's probably going to be terrible. I'm gonna watch it one of these days. But it's funny how they couldn't leave it for the Japanese because nobody would care. Nobody would care if the rapers of Nanking would have gotten their payback. Got paid back by the Crocs. But yeah, I never heard about that. It's a little island in Burma. It's not really more. It's more like an isthmus. It's connected. I mean, you know, a good swimmer can swim from the mainland to it. I mean, it's just like a swamp hole. It's like the freaking Everglades or something like that. I zoomed in on it. The first thing I saw, there was this place where like three rivers came, and there's this plot of land right in between the three rivers. Like, there's your scenario. You Japanese on this one island, and you got to get off. Yeah. Never heard of that before. Never heard of it before. But they made a movie. It's a movie called Saltwater. It's on Tubi. At least here in the United States, it's on Tubi. It's probably terrible. But I looked at the. I didn't even watch it. I didn't even watch a preview of it, and I'm not going to watch a preview. I don't want to watch previews anymore. We'll just start watching it. But looking at the cover of it, it's like typical Hollywood stuff. You probably have one British guy, one Australian guy, one black guy, one guy that's a Sikh. I think they got a guy with a head wrap that's a Sikh. You know, it's like one of everybody. You know, it's like, why can't you have two of something? You know. Okay, this guy is going to. We're going to put this big old thing here. GB models. You got to be in Britain. Great Britain. There was a two-part scenario based on that battle in War Games, Soldiers, and Strategy a couple of years ago. Oh, I'll look it up. Thanks for that. I love buying their PDF stuff. And I haven't, finally looked at it in detail, the Normandy issue the other day that I had to wait like an extra week because I buy their PDF stuff, but I don't want to sign up for the subscription because like if there's an issue that's all about the American Civil War, why am I even looking at that, you know? But I looked at it in some detail and I was kind of disappointed. I was expecting better stuff in there. The other World War II issues I have of theirs are better. You are from Australia and have a YouTube channel myself. Excellent. What is it? So I can check it out. As long as it doesn't involve model building. It has a bunch of Australian models in there, right? I do not. I wouldn't mind seeing a channel with a bunch of Australian models on it. As long as they're girls. GB model 7799. Okay. That's my homework assignment. We'll check it out. How did you find out about this channel? I'm just wondering. I just do my thing, and if somebody comes by and just hangs out, I've done this like 9 hours at one time. I'm like, I just want some kind of company, at least something to like give me some, let's kick some stuff around, And I get off on tangents sometimes, and man, the dirt really turned out well on this guy. This is one of my favorite figures. This is a battlefield miniature, and I'm like the only loon in the United States. Well, there's like 2 other people that does 20 millimeter. And if I had to do it over again, I'd do 20 millimeter again. I have zero regrets in this. This is the scale that I like. This is the conflict that I like, and this is the scale that I like. All right, we're gonna put a big piece of this, or a largish piece of that, there on that guy. Not on this one. There's no space for it to get a purchase on there. These figures were painted about 20 years ago. They were painted in the early 2000s. Some of these guys were painted in the mid 90s. You know, and the nice thing is I think my painting style really hasn't changed that much. Fortunately, I think I do flesh a little bit better, but but the basing was just, you know, it was like it's what we knew. You know, it's what we knew. These materials weren't available anymore, and you know, we all, whether people want to admit it or not, we all learn from each other. You'll see something it's like, man, that looks pretty good. What did you use? And you know, I mean that's what I do. People ask me what I use, and I tell them. And if I can remember, I don't want to be like, I don't want to tell them because then their stuff will look good too. I want everybody's stuff to look better. You know, I've learned lots of stuff from other people. And a lot of folks, I'm not saying you guys that watch are watching me now, but I mean, a lot of people have a hard time giving credit to other people. Like it makes them less of a man. I don't understand. I don't understand what it is. And it's not necessarily a gamer thing or a model thing. You'll see it in cars. I've gone to like car shows and nobody can say anything nice. It's like, oh, I better not say anything nice about that guy's car because I'll just be less than a man. I'm like, they won't come out and tell you that, but you can feel like there's like this angst, and I'm like, I just want to do some camaraderie. I don't need to compete against other people. I'm ultimately, as long as I like what I'm doing and I keep getting motivated to continue doing it, it's my therapy. It keeps me from being on the news. I just like to scroll and see what everybody's working on. Yeah. Well, at some point in the future, I don't have any Australians, but I'll probably have Australians at some point. I was a little disappointed that, other than in Malaya, which didn't last very long, that the Australians and the Indians really didn't fight. Well, in North Africa they did, but other than that, and what's the deal with those? What's the deal with those hats that the Kiwis used? I did not know that the Kiwis had like this, almost like a similar hat to like the Americans used in the First World War. Just an odd, I'd never seen that before, like in any kind of like pictures or anything. But I've seen these Kiwi hats I'd never seen before. 'Cause I think like the even though I don't do 28 millimeter, companies like Warlord and stuff, they do a good job of like giving you lots of eye candy for you to get ideas from. And I think they had I think it was them that had some kind of Commonwealth set, and it was like it had guys with just the regular steel helmets. It had the bush hats, and it had the Kiwi hats, whatever they were called. I'd never seen those before. They didn't teach me about that part in school. I would have learned very little from the Second World War if I would have just gone with what they taught me in school. If you're really into something, you end up learning all the stuff on your own. Reading stuff on your own. All right, we're going to put that one there. And I don't know that we got much room for just anything else other than that. I feel like this guy needs something that's up here towards the front. We'll cut it. You build World War II planes and hot rods and cars and GP bikes and F1 cars and some Legos on your channel. I got a couple of planes that I started and just ran out of steam. That doesn't mean I'm not going to finish them. It just means that, I want to work on this. I want to get this game up and running. I want to get this game up and running and have all kinds of zany stuff happen that you guys get to experience. And me too. Cars would be cool if they made more models of cars. Like if I could like build like my car, if you could build like your own car and stuff like that. I don't think they make my car in a model. They should, but I bet they don't. It's not expensive enough. They only make, they make cars and models that most of us can't afford, or most of us just would rather have a house. You know, mortgage on a, mortgage car type car payment is, not my idea of a good time. But I think tomorrow morning, when it's not so damn hot, I think I'm going to go out in the garage and we're going to do an airbrush session in the morning. I think we're going to do that. Now that my garage is more presentable, I'll have to pull the wife's car out and we'll do that. I want to try out that El Cheapo airbrush that I got with the compressor because it has a 2 millimeter needle, and see what I can come up with that. See what I can make with the. Let's look at the Americans. I don't want to use a color. It's not any of the other U.S. guys. Look at the other U.S. mortar troop dudes. Okay. Nothing outlandish. About the same. Par for the course. But I am not an airbrush expert and never will be. I'd like to think that I get better at it every time I use it, but I can do miracles happen with a paintbrush. I can't that I'll never be able to do with an airbrush. Because I basically have no problems that ever happen to me hand painting stuff. It just doesn't happen. I can pretty much get anywhere I need to be able to get to. Um, 40 years doing this shit. It's like, and now right now I don't, but taking my contacts out, I got +6 on everything, so I can't hide anything for myself. Like I see I see the mistakes you guys can't see because I'm like, it's like zoom the heck in, which is kind of nice because it means that I don't know that I paint any better, but I don't miss any spots. Let's put it that way. It just is what it is. I mean, it's, unfortunately, I got to use readers and stuff now because it's just one of those things that happens to all of us. Or you die too early. I'd rather have that than have the shakes. We don't need that. We do not need that in our skill set. Okay, there's Willard. All right, so that's the Soviets. That's the few Soviets I have done that aren't the ones from FAA, which I'm not going to. At this point, I'm not going to refurbish them. I just do not like. I just don't like them. Their poses are hokey. They remind me of some of the bad poses for Essex figures that I don't like. Or awkward like that. Okay, so we do need the mortar, and the Soviets need a mortar for the mortar crew. So let's not forget to do that. It does take time to airbrush for getting better. Yeah, as long as you get better every time. Yeah, there's some experts airbrushers out there. There's some expert model builders out there that are like, it's funny. One of them I was watching about a year ago, and he was like, he does these vehicles that look better than the real vehicle. You put the real vehicle next to him, it looks like crap. His model looks better than that. But he was all worried about, I don't know, I've never done a face before. I'm like, faces are easy, but I've also done thousands of faces. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair to say, thousands. Maybe not in 1/35th scale, but I've done a lot of them in 20. All you're doing is basically enhancing what the sculptor did for you. Now the guy that creates these sculpts, that's the wizard. We're just glorified paint by numbers folks. This is just a trick, and people that don't know will fall for it. But the real wizards are the sculptor might say the same thing. They might be, they might be like, I don't, it's not a big deal. I just kind of, plug along at it. But I think it's pretty amazing. And they don't get enough credit. Okay, that's all I'm going to put. I'm just going to put one tuft on the mortar. Yeah, and here's the crew is you got the mortar, you got the leader, you got the guy that doesn't want to hear it anymore, and where's the last guy? I thought there was a fourth. Oh, here he is. Oh, I'm not done with the Soviets. This guy. This guy is sitting over here with the extra. He's hogging the ammo. What's this clown? Melnikov. Well, we're gonna send you to the gulag for hiding over there. And I'm not gonna be able to use any of these tufts. We're gonna have to take one of these and cut it in half. And I got to make some of the airbrush cleaner. I bought the stuff to do that. I've done it before. I'm happy with that recipe. There might be ones I enjoy better, but there's no point in changing it. I don't know that this is gonna work because it's a little the stickiness of it and trying to cut it in half are kind of incompatible. And this is a really small area around. He's pretty close to the edge of the stand. So let's try doing something like this. What I hate doing with videos is editing videos. It creates a lot of extra work. So I'm just like, hey, I'm just doing this. I'm gonna make mistakes. You're gonna see me make mistakes, and you'll see me fix them. I'm not perfect. I'm not afraid of showing that I make mistakes. Editing the videos is a lot of extra work that, frankly, I don't want to do. It takes time away from this. I don't know, it makes me more real. And there's some really good video editors out there, but it just takes a lot of effort. It's just a carryover from the early days when I was having trouble crunching the video so it could be exported, and it would just jam on me. Came really close to never doing any more videos. And one video I tried like a dozen times, and it would tie up my phone for like 2 and 3 hours. And then just before it was done, it'd be like, oh, we didn't get anything. You have to try over again. During which time I couldn't, surf the internet. I couldn't do anything. It was basically locked down. Okay, so there is the 82 millimeter Soviet mortar crew and the 4-man crew. Okay. A lot of people just don't explain stuff that you need explained. You know, I had such a hard time dealing with this stuff, this surface primer. This is what I use to prime all of my stuff. And you can airbrush it, and you look online, and everybody's got an opinion. Oh, you can't. You got to thin this with this, or you got to thin it with something else. Well, you don't use it thin. Well, it's self-leveling. It's like, so I just freaking experimented with it. And the only thing I realized is one guy, and I don't know who it was, put on some video that when you're using something thicker, you need to use a bigger needle. So my airbrush was an Iwata, whatever the heck it is, HPC, something like that. It's an excellent airbrush. It falls apart. It falls apart. No, it does not fall apart. It takes apart really, really easy. It's easy to keep clean. It works for me. It's, I'm really happy with it. Sure, there's probably better airbrushes for that price, and the fact that I could just pick it up at a store and I was able to try it, and if I didn't like it, I was able to return it. Like, I'm holding all the cards really worked for me. But it comes with a .35 needle. The .35 needle won't feed this properly. I don't give a shit what PSI you're at. I had it over like 70. It would not go through. It would jam all the time until I decided to get a .5 needle. And then it's no problem, but they don't tell you that. So you kind of have to figure a lot of this stuff out on your own, you know. I didn't understand what the significance of, PSI and PSI, you crank it up really high if you want to clean that thing out. That's what works for me. And I run this stuff pretty close to 50 PSI, maybe even higher than that. Well, right, whatever it is at the middle. Yeah, 45, 50. And I've had no problems with this stuff. And I use it straight. Because this is a weird material. It's got some polyurethane stuff in it. It behaves totally different than acrylic paint. It is acrylic in the standpoint that, you can clean your brushes off with water. But it's elastic, It's weird. I really like it because I prime everything in black, and they make it in all kinds of different colors. If you like, if you like gray, or if you like Panzer yellow, or or rust brown, they make it in lots of stuff. And what I like it is because this is the one I keep in here, and if I need to hand paint something, I just brush paint it. And this stuff is amazing to brush paint on. Self leveling, just can't say enough good things about it. So. Figures, I don't need airbrush figures. That's just like, you're done. It's like no point in firing up the airbrush and, do all that cleanup for a small task. Okay, so who are we going to do next? We're going to do this guy right here. This is one of my favorite figures, interestingly enough, Mr. Niemack, Herr Niemack, or Niemack, Niemack. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Niemack or Niemack. It's one of those two. And he's a Platoon 20 figure, and he actually is a good-looking figure. A good-looking figure. Yeah. So we're going to take this little bit of yellow, and we're going to put it right here in the front. But, I listen to what other people have to say. I have no interest in converting anybody. If you're happy doing things the way you want to do them, by all means, keep doing them, I don't tell anybody how to do stuff. You want to do things a different way, that's fine. I don't like being told how to do things either. I do this because I can do this however the hell I want. I got enough people telling me what to do. And no, I don't mean the wife. I mean that pay me. Like this isn't that type of environment. I don't do that shit for free. Yeah, okay, I'll pull two of them out and we'll save one for a little later. But as always on Sunday, well, not always, as usual, because it is usual, on Sunday mornings we'll be on. We'll be on again in a few hours. In about 9 hours we'll be on again. Sleeping's for people that don't have goals. We ain't got time for that. See, that movie's probably going to be terrible. Probably a terrible movie. But it's not going to cost me a dime, and after 10 minutes, if I can't get into it, then I'm not going to see it. There's Niemack. All right, Metzler. Oh, we got some We got some folks of rank here. One of my favorite figures here, right here, Jorgensen. Even though he's a rat Nazi bastard, he's still a cool looking rat Nazi bastard. That's why I think it's popular to play the Germans. Well, people generally like to play the underdog, and the Germans are just cool looking. I mean, they were a horrible regime, but they look good doing it. Can't deny that. Can't deny that, but they did have cool kit. Yeah, the bottoms of these are kind of, they don't flex real well. Well, we'll pull a couple of these out. We'll probably have to split these in half. Let's pull two of these out here. Kellner. Yeah, the thing for me on the airbrush that was the turning point is I watched a lot of people's videos because I didn't have the time. I hadn't done any vehicles in 20 years. And the vehicles I'd done 20 years ago, I'd only did like one. And the painting method I used on it was taking way too slow. So I can paint vehicles without an airbrush. There's no doubt about it. It's just a matter of, some airbrush schemes look a lot better using an airbrush. So I had to use a method that that looked good at the end result. And between going over their airbrush with a after you do the pattern, after going over it with a base color again, like dry brushing the base color on top of the camouflage helped the color. No, that's not what I did. I ended up giving it a brown wash first, and then coming back and then dry brushing the base color, and that made it just subtly disappear a little better. Because I've noticed, like, the war game miniatures that I like, the people have done vehicles, they look better than the real vehicle. The real vehicle, like, you'll see a vehicle at a reenactment, it looks like shit. It doesn't look good. It doesn't have levels of dirt and contrast. It's all like, it doesn't look believable, even though it's the real vehicle. And you go watch one of those shows that they have with the real equipment is driving around. It just, the models that people do look better. But I am, even though I am not really good at airbrushing, I am a lot better at airbrushing than I am taking pictures. I'm not good at taking pictures. I don't have the patience for it. Because people say, oh, how do you have the patience to spend 4 hours on a figure? That's easy. What I don't have the patience is for spend 4 hours trying to perfect how a picture looks. Like, F that, I could be painting another figure, And they never look as good as they do in real life to you, And I know the camera's doing all the hard work, and I've watched videos on it. I'm just not that interested. I can't be that interested in everything. So, I'm not good at taking pictures. Not taking pictures like get it, but just to enhance it. I'm not good at that, and I'm not good at shuffling cards. I'm even worse at shuffling cards. I don't know that there's anything that I'm more bad at than shuffling cards. I really don't think. Like, I don't cook, and I'm better at cooking than shuffling cards. I've watched videos on how to shuffle cards. I'm hopeless. I'm a hopeless cause. Hey, I'd like to see one of those dealers at the casino do this shit. They don't even shuffle cards either. They put them in that damn machine. Okay. Jurgensen, yeah, this guy's badass looking. Where is mein badass? Need a couple more of these. I kind of like using all these different colors. I don't want to be like, okay, well, the Russians use this color and the Germans use these. I'm like, nah, they're all playing on the same battlefield. It's all good. Now let's take this one and split this one in half. And then let's put a little bit there. Okay. And there's Jorgensen. Yeah, one of my favorite figures. This is a great pose. Great pose. Oh, I didn't realize he was a pretty high-ranking guy. What rank is that? Well, let me pull out a book I never pull out. I could probably look it up on the internet quicker, but... German Infantry Handbook? Is that the one? German Infantry Handbook. Got a crooked spider on there, so nobody gets their panties in a wad. That's actually nobody watching this show. It's just automatic stuff that Google searches for. I think this is the one. I think this one has the ranks in it. This is an old, like a compilation of a bunch of different stuff. I just flipped here, and there's a part on here that has. There's actually interesting stuff in here. I didn't realize it was interesting, and I've had this book for 30 fucking years. Operational reports. 58th Infantry Division. Obviously, these are all German infantry divisions. According to this, Eastern Campaign, Northern Sector after the Battle of Volkov in June 1942. Volkov, I believe, is near Moscow. That area of the front that didn't move a whole lot, if I remember correctly. The fighting strength of the Engineer Battalion 158 on June 26 was down to the first company had one officer, one NCO, and 2 men. Wow! That's like, wow. Second company, 1 officer, 2 NCOs, and 22 men. Third company, 1 officer and 9 men. Wow. I didn't know there was interesting stuff in there. I should read my own material. I just, I'm sure we all buy books and hardly look into them as much as they should be able to. And of course, some of this stuff, you have to read with a grain of salt. Take with a grain of salt, yeah. Okay, so let me see where the hell is the rank thing on here. I thought this one actually had some the rank pictures. I guess it does not have that. I was thinking this was one of the other books. I've got the other one has it on there. I could have already found out by looking online, but I wouldn't have realized that this book's actually pretty interesting. I should probably take a look at it. Assignment. The thing I really dislike about the Germans is that there's so much stuff available for them that isn't available for other people. And I'm like, they do. This is the book I was thinking of. They, they do need other people to fight. All right. It's like, what's it smell like? Old. Even though I don't have a basement, so it doesn't have that basement smell. It just smells like it's been. Okay, where's the rank things, man? This had like the fuck. Here we go. Here we go. We got some decorations and stuff on here. This is what I wanted to see. Not those SS bastards and their, toilet brush Führer and this, that, and the other Führer, and SS ranks are annoying. Come on. I don't care about the Fallschirmjäger, just regular army. Okay. Oh, he's a corporal. Corporal is 2. Okay, so he's the same rank as Metzler. Okay. Obergefreiter. Okay. Obergefreiter and Gefreiter. Yeah, so Obergefreiter is like basically your squad leader. And Unteroffizier is the sergeant, which would be like. Actually, Stefan's not a sergeant. Oh, he's a master sergeant. Oberfeldwebel. Okay. Yeah, these figures actually give you like the ranks are on them. They're like cast on the figures. I mean, I guess I could use them as anything else, but okay. I haven't looked at that stuff in 30 freaking years. Okay. Obergefreiter and Gefreiter. Okay, and this guy's got, I believe this guy's just got the one little dot. So he is a Lance Corporal, is that what it is? Private first class. Obergrenadier. Okay. PFC. Now, I got a lot of guys that they aren't PFCs. They're just like regular grunts. Grunten. That's what they should be called, though. You Grunten. German grunts. Well, I think I'm actually going to, let's see, how long have we been on here? 2 hours? I think I'm actually going to go ahead and call this one a night. We'll be back in the morning, pick up the rest of these stuff, and then do the basing on the German, on the last bit of the Germans that we have that were painted decades ago, and I do mean decades ago. That sounds crazy to me. I'm not that old, but I guess I am. Anyhow, thanks for stopping by, folks, as always. And we'll see you guys in a few hours and pick up where we left off. All right, guys, enjoy what's left of your Saturday. See ya.